Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ankit Kumar. Welcome to today's session, which is on UiPath. We will know in today's session how to use the Excel and web-based application using UiPath, how you can automate these kind of applications, right? So today's agenda is this: introduction to RPA, introduction to UiPath, right? So what is UiPath? So we'll have an introduction to UiPath, and why do we need to automate Excel or Excel application? Okay, and we'll see how to install Excel activities. We'll also see how to work with your web applications, and we'll do a small hands-on by which you will understand how automation is being performed using UiPath. So this is what the agenda for today's session. So now quickly, let's go and understand what is RPA, right? So we'll have introduction to RPA. So RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. You might know, like this stands for robotic process automation. And let's divide these three words into different things and we'll understand what exactly each word refers to. So let's first talk about robotic. So the robot, whenever we say the word robot, right? So it is like we'll assume some kind of physical, hydraulic machines who are doing some kind of work. So this is what we assume. But the robot, which is referred in RPA, is completely different. So the robot, which is referred to RPA here, is kind of a software. Your robot is a software which has capabilities of mimicking human actions. So it is an entity which mimic human actions. Whatever you ask it to do, whatever you perform, it just repeats whatever you say. It copies and repeats whatever a human is doing. So that is what the capability of robot is. So it is an entity which mimics human actions. Mimic here is like copy and paste, kind of copy the human actions and repeat whatever a human has done. That is the robot we have. So then what is a process, right? So what is a process? A process in very layman terms or very simple terms, whatever we do, what are the sequence of steps that we do, which leads to a meaningful activity, right, is a process. For an example, okay, making a tea or a coffee, right? In the layman terms, making a tea and coffee will have a series of steps that we have to perform to do some act, so to get some meaningful product at the end, right? So that is what the process is. That is what the process is. Like if you are following, right? For an example, if at all you want to cook some curry or chapati, and if you are following the process of making a tea, right? So then it is not the end product that we are looking for. It is completely different. So every finished good will have a series of steps that has to be performed, which leads to the product that we are looking for. So that is the process. And everyone who are working in an IT industry, they work for certain business process. The same process in IT industry, we call them as a business process, and everyone will be associated with one or the other business process in IT industry. So we call it as a project, right? So project is nothing but which deals with a specific business process. That is what the process is. And next, what is an automation? Automation, simple thing. Without human intervention, if you are achieving that process, it is an automation. Whatever you do, whatever you are doing, like to do work, okay, to achieve something, instead of you, if someone else do, who are not a human, it is called automation. Any process done by a robot without human intervention is said to be automated. Simple. So if we combine all together, mimicking human actions to perform a sequence of steps. Now we know what is a sequence of steps. A sequence of steps that lead to a meaningful activity, right? So it is a process. So mimicking human actions to perform a process without human intervention is called as robotic process automation. This is a very simple definition, right? One can understand about robotic process automation. Simple, whatever human used to do before, okay, so that work is now being performed by a robot without intervention of human. Now you can ask me, okay, what if robot does all the work? So why we need it? Right? Why we are here? So not all the process can be automated. So there are defined rules and regulations using which we can pick a process for automation. So we have lot many things to learn so that we understand those kind of processes when we start a course on UiPath, right? So this is in the layman terms, whatever we do, that work if now a robot does without our human intervention is said to be a robotic process automation. Now, what is a UiPath, right? So now we understood RPA, okay. Now we understand what is RPA, and then what is a UiPath and what is the relation between RPA and UiPath is what let's understand, right? RPA is a concept, RPA is a technology, okay, which says, okay, how to automate a business process. It's a kind of book which is written, okay, on how to do automation. It's not exactly a book. I'm just giving you as an example. It's just a book which is written on how to do an automation. It's theory. It's a theory. RPA is a theory which will tell us, which will give us the guidelines on how to do an automation. But I told you, right, robot, which we are talking about, and the very first thing in robotic process automation, I said when I was talking about robot, I said robot is a software, right? But RPA by itself is not software. I told it's a technology. It's a guidelines on how to do automation. Then what is a software? So based on RPA guidelines, whatever it is written on how to do automation, based on those guidelines, there is a product. There are many products in the market, many software that has emerged in the market, which does automation. And one of those software is your UiPath. So RPA is a technology and UiPath is a technology enabler, we call it as, which enables that technology. It is an UiPath. So now UiPath is a software which helps us automating any given business process. That is a simple thing about UiPath. So like UiPath, we have other tools in the market, like the well-known tools are Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, Pega. So these are some of the other RPA tools that are available in the market, right? So here is what the definition you have. So UiPath is a robotic process automation tool, right? So technology enabler is nothing but a tool, software tool, everything refers to a tool, right? Which is used for Windows desktop automation. So whatever the applications, whatever the softwares that we use on the Windows desktop, so those can be automated using UiPath. I told you not all the process can be automated, right? So now see the next point. It is used to automate repetitive and redundant tasks. And the biggest advantage of these RPA tools, whatever it is, like UiPath, Automation Anywhere, whatever it is, right? So they are the drag and drop softwares. So whatever you want to achieve automation, right? You have to just drag and drop them. You don't have to write any code. If you are from non-technical background also, it's absolutely fine. It is absolutely fine even if you are from a non-IT background. Even if you don't know what is a Java, what is C++, Python, whatever. If you even don't have the basics of programming language, it is absolutely fine. So everything we have here is a drag and drop functionality, and you can just automate your business process. So that is what the UiPath is here. Okay, so UiPath is a tool which is used to automate all the applications that you have in the Windows, and those are used to automate repetitive and redundant tasks, and that automation can be built using a drag and drop functionality, right? So that is the UiPath. So just now I've talked about what are the applications you have in Windows, right? So whatever the applications we have in Windows, we can automate. And Excel is one of the applications you have in Windows, right? So you will install Microsoft Office. So you have a Microsoft Office in your operating system, right? And Excel is one of the core applications from that MS Office that we use on daily basis. So if you are using it for the personal, okay, if you are having a personal laptop to maintain or to manage anything, definitely one will use the Excel. And if you are in a project working for an industry, right, so there is hardly there will be any project that doesn't use Excel, right? So Excel is such a important application or frequently used application, either for the personal use or for the professional use. So now UiPath offers many functionalities to automate your Excel application. Okay, automate your Excel application. Now you can ask me, okay, Excel can be automated using macros. So why UiPath? So macros can automate only Excel, not other application. Now in this course, we are learning how to automate your web and Excel, right? Both together. So if at all you want to automate both together, your macros will not do it. Your macros cannot work on web, right? So that's how UiPath is used. So UiPath can work with different application. Whatever the applications you have in window, it will work with different applications. Simple. Okay. So now let's go and understand how your UiPath helps you to achieve automation on Excel. Why? So why do we automate Excel? So these are the things. Okay. So these are the things. So next slide is also for the same thing, right? Automate Excel without having Excel installed. The biggest advantage, even though if you don't have an Excel installed in your Windows. So Windows operating system, okay, by default, you will get an Excel, but even if you don't have an Excel installed on your machine, you can do automation. That is a wonder you have in UiPath. So always it will be the case, like if at all you want to work with any application or any software, that has to be installed, right? So that has to be there in that particular Windows operating system. But even though if you don't have an Excel in your system, your UiPath can automate any given Excel application. That is a beauty. Okay, that is the beauty of your UiPath. Okay. Next, free yourself from higher value tasks. Okay. If you have many things to do, that means you have an Excel and you have higher volume of data to be processed. Higher volume of data to be processed from your Excel, which is completely repeated thing. You have to do the same thing again and again for each and every row, right? So Excel is divided into rows and columns, right? For the same row, you are doing the same task again and again. If you have 100 rows, you are doing the same task again and again for all those 100 rows. And imagine if you have thousands of rows. It is a boring and repetitive thing that you are doing. You can free yourself using UiPath. You can do all type of automations, reading rows and columns, and whatever you want to do with that data, you can do it and free yourself from those kind of repetitive and redundant tasks. And you can focus on whichever adds value to your capabilities, right? So that is what you can do with UiPath using Excel. Next, you can increase productivity and efficiency. So what it refers to, your UiPath or RPA is 2.5 times faster than human. Whatever the human is doing, right? Whatever the human is doing, the same task, your robot can do it 2.5 times faster than you, which will automatically increases productivity. If you are executing more transactions per day, that is increase in productivity, right? So if you are having more productivity, that is directly proportional to your increase in revenue. This is for a company. This is at the company level. Okay, so not for you, right? So more productivity, more revenue, and it will help us to increase the efficiency. Without doing any mistakes, your UiPath can automate your business process. So without any mistakes and at the higher pace, it can do the automation for you. It can do the work for you. So automatically productivity will get increased. So I already told you, so this is repeated, right? So automate Excel without having Excel installed. So this is just repeated. So integrate with other applications. So you can integrate, okay, Excel with other applications. I told you, right? So if at all you just want to automate your Excel, macros are enough. But if at all you want to automate your Excel with respect to other applications as well, you want to take a consideration into, like you want to take consideration of other applications also using Excel. Like if at all you want to have your web application or database, right? So you have a database and you have to take the data from the Excel and load into the database. So that is integration. It's a kind of integration. You are using multiple applications to complete the process. So in that case also, you can use UiPath, that is integration between, for an example, integration between Excel and database. So whatever the data you have in Excel, now we are loading that into a database. So that is the integration between Excel and database. So your UiPath can do that. And as I told you, automate without programming. Without programming, you can do the automation. I told you, right? Just a drag and drop methodology we have here. I'll show you how you can drag and drop all the activities and build a beautiful automation, right? So automate without programming. So this is what you can do using UiPath with Excel application. Next, now I understood what is the use of Excel activities in UiPath. How do I install Excel activities in UiPath Studio? Okay, I'll talk about what is Studio also. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's an IDE. It's an interface where we develop all the automations, right? How to install? So by default, whenever you create a project in UiPath, your Excel activities will be installed by default. Okay, explicitly you don't need to install, but you can find that here in the packages. Okay, so this thing I'll show you in UiPath. As of now, don't worry about it. So let me complete the theory part about web and then we'll go to practicals. Okay, so now we have talked about Excel. Okay, now let's talk about web automation. All right, so wherever your applications like UiPath can be useful in web is this. So you can extract the data. Okay, so you can extract the data from web. If at all you have a data scattered in web application, you can just collect that data and store it wherever you want. So then you can have a recording. So that recording, so we have multiple recordings. So in one of the type of recording that you have in UiPath is a web recording. So where you can just start a recording and do the activities on the web, and your UiPath can capture those activities that you are doing on web, and it will generate code by default. And also, if at all you want to perform a website testing, you can very well do that, right? So you can use Selenium also for website testing. Now you can use UiPath also for doing website testing. And if at all you want to generate some report using the web, you can do the report generation. Okay, and application transfer. So if at all you want to transfer the data from one application to other application, you can very well you do that using UiPath. Okay, so now this is a simple thing. Now let's go and do some hands-on, which will give you a lot more idea about how to achieve automation using UiPath. And if you install UiPath in your computer, okay, you'll get an interface like this. This is a UiPath Studio, guys. Okay, so this is the UiPath Studio where you will build all your applications or automations. Okay, now I'll create a new project by clicking on this process. Under new project, I'll click on process. So when I click on process, it will ask me for the project name. Okay, what is this process name? So I'll say web Excel automation. I'll just say web Excel automation, and you can give a description whatever you want here and click on create. So when you click on create, it will create a project workspace for you. Project workspace area. And just observe here. So it says creating workspace. So that's what I was referring to. It will create a workspace where you can do all your automation. And it will also download the dependencies for a project, whatever is required, and frequently used applications activity, it will download for you. So let it create. See, it says adding dependencies. So this is what I was referring to. So dependencies, and one of the dependency is your Excel activities. So in every project, your Excel activity dependency will be included by default because Excel is widely used, right? Widely used. So now this is the IDE for your UiPath. Okay, I'll go to the project here. So you can see the project here on the left hand side. So when you click on project, and this is the project name you have created, right? Web Excel automation. So this is the project name, and you see under dependencies, you have these many activities. And you see the first thing is UiPath Excel activities. So by default, whatever is required to work with Excel, whatever is required to work with Excel, you have it here by default. Okay, and if at all you don't have it here, so that is not the case. But even though if you don't have it here, you can click on this manage packages, go to all packages and type simply Excel. So when you type Excel, so you will get UiPath Excel activities. You have to just select that and click on install. So here you have an update, uninstall. So in place of uninstall, you will have an install option. But that will not be a case. By default, it will be given to you. Okay, and you can build the automation by clicking on this main.xaml file. So automation will start from main.xaml file. So let me just double click on it. This is your space. So this is your white space where you can create your automation. Okay, so now to do automation, so let me show you one sample Excel. So which is a job applicants. So let me open this Excel, so which I have created for our webinar hands-on. So this is what you have here. So the Excel, so these are some job applicants and the name of the applicant, gender, email, and the phone number of the applicant. Okay, so we have one, two, three, four job applicants. Okay, so in the Excel, so what we're gonna do with them? So as this is an Excel and web related webinar, so I need to have a web. So I have something called a web application here. So which is a job application form which is of web. So you have a URL here, right? So which is a web job application form. So here you have name, gender, email, and the phone number. So whatever you have it here, whatever you have here, the data, you have to enter that data inside this web application, the web job application form. So you have to take the data that is for this job applicant, Ankit. So you have to enter his data inside this web application. And then finally, you have to submit the data. And you have to do that for all the job applicants. So how many applicants you have in this particular Excel, you have to do that. So let's quickly go and perform the automation by using the drag and drop functionality you have in UiPath. Now you will understand that I don't need any coding skills or coding knowledge. Okay, you'll understand that. Okay, so now this is your Excel. Okay, so now this is your Excel. Sorry, this is your web application, right? Okay, so this is your web application. Now this is your Excel. To read the Excel, okay, to read the data from the Excel, to read the data from the Excel, you have an activity in UiPath called read range. Sorry. So if I just search for range, you will get something called read range. The read range activity, what I have to do here, just drag and drop. Okay, see what I'm doing? I'm just selecting this, press the left button of your mouse and drag it to the space. So here it says drag activity here. I'll just release it. So this is what you have got. So automatically your activity is being shown here. That is read range. Here it says workbook path. Okay, which Excel sheet you want to read is what it is saying. I'll just browse for that path using this browse for file option available here. I'll just click there, go to the wherever I have saved that particular Excel. So I have saved this here, job applicants. Just click on open. See here the path. So this is the path. Okay, so this is the path where my Excel has been saved. So I've just selected that path, and when you open this Excel, you might have multiple sheets, right? You might have multiple sheets. You may have multiple sheets in your Excel, and you have to give a proper sheet name. And this is the sheet 1 I have in Excel. So by default, you have a sheet 1 here as well. So no problem for me. And you can read a specific data from Excel also. Okay, not the complete data. If at all I want to read this data, okay, sorry, not this one. So suppose this data I want to read, that is only from A2 to B4. Only this range of data I would like to read. So that also you can do it by giving the range here. That is A2 is to, A1 is to A2 is what currently by default it is given. But if at all you want to change that, you can change that, and only that data will be read. If at all you want to read the complete data you have in Excel, irrespective of how many rows and columns you have in the Excel, I would like to read the complete data from the Excel. So then you have to simply go and remove everything. You have to make it blank, right? So this is where you can read it. Now, after doing that, okay, just a second. Okay, so after doing that, you have to store this data in some kind of variable. So whatever the Excel data you have to store that in some kind of variable, and that variable we have in Excel is called, in UiPath is called data table, and I'll say job applicants. So now the complete data from this Excel will be stored in this particular variable, which is a job applicant variable. Okay, so then I have to read. So this variable now have multiple rows and columns, right? Multiple rows and columns. So now I have to read the individual job applicants data. So for that, I have to loop. I'll say for each row in the data table. So since I'm using a data table as my variable, so I'm using a data table. And which data table I have? Job application. Okay, something. Okay, so then what I have to do? So while I'm reading individual data, okay, I have to enter that in this particular job portal, right? In this job portal, I have to load the data. So for that, I need to have this job portal access. So how I can access it? By using attach browser. So as we are dealing with browser, so I'm using attach browser. So you have open browser and attach browser, both the things you have. Okay, so open browser is to open the browser which is not open, and attach browser is used to attach the browser which is already opened. So that is the difference. So as the browser is already open, I'm using attach browser, and I'll click on this indicate browser on the screen because I have to tell UiPath which browser to open, which browser to open. So I'll just click on it and indicate. Yeah, so this is the browser. This is the browser I would like to open. So just go and click on that. So it will capture the complete data of your browser. Okay, oops, sorry. So it will capture the entire data of your browser. So once you have your browser in place, what you would like to do? You have to enter the data, right? I would like to enter the data from Excel to this application. So where you would like to enter the data? Under this name field, have to select this gender, email, phone, and submit. So for that, to enter the data, we have something called type into activity. Okay, so type into, when you click on this type into, just drag and drop that and indicate where you would like to type the data. Just click on that and go to this name section. So this is where I would like to write the name. Which name? Now this name is coming from Excel, right? So I'm not typing anything here. I would like to get the name from the Excel. So how to get the name from the Excel? So this current row. So I'll just write the data here that I would like to enter the name. So current rows name. Name is what I would like to enter. Then I'll just type toString, done. So I have entered the name part. So likewise, I have to do for all the others. But here the gender, right? So if it is a male, it should go and click on male. If it is a female, it should go and click on female. Okay, likewise we have to do. So for that I have to have a if condition, right? So because based on the gender it should go and click. So what I'll do, I'll just click on this if, I'll type if and get this if my current row, okay, so if my current row and the column is not name, what is the column here? So gender. If the gender column, okay, if the gender column dot equals what? Male, for an example. So this is male. If that is refers to male, then what you have to do? Just go and click on, what happened? I is not getting click. Okay, so we have a click here. Just go and do the click. So if it is a male, what you would like to do? Just go and click on this male. That's it. Else, what you would like to do? Click on female. Click on female. Simple. So what we are doing, based on the value that you are getting in Excel, that is gender. So here is where I am referring the column name gender. If the column name gender, then the value you are getting is male. You are getting the value as male, then go and click on male, else go and click on female. It is what we are doing here. And rest what we have, what are the rest things we have? Type into, so I have to do it for email, and what that email is, oops, so I have to do it for this one. I'll copy the same, but I'll just change the column name. So this has to be email. I'll say email. Simple. Next what we have, phone number. So again I'll just drag and drop this one, indicate on the screen, go there, and this time click on phone number. And here, so what it is, sorry, in Excel it is phone space number. So let me copy this entirely from here. Done. Phone number. After this, what I have to do? I have to click on submit, right? So we have a submit button here. I have to click on this submit button. So go here and click on submit button. So I'll use the click activity, go and submit here. Done. So after clicking on the submit button, again this page has to come back, right? Again this page has to come back. So suppose I'm giving some data here. Okay, I've selected this mail. Okay, something, the data here at the @gmail.com, right? And some phone number here. Okay, and click on submit. You'll get the other page like this. That is, thank you for your interest. Someone will contact you shortly. So when I click on this submit another response, you'll get the initial page where we have entered the data, and that is needed to enter the next job applicant's data. So again, what I have to do here, after clicking on submit, I have to click on this particular thing. And to respond the applications, whenever we click on submit, and a few times what happens, applications will not respond very quickly. So for that, I'll add some kind of delay. So here we have 3, but I'll make it as 1. 1 is enough. So 1 second delay. So the same thing, I'll do it here. So from snippets, I'll just copy 1 second delay. Done. So I'll go back and click on the submit response and close this Excel. Now our program is ready. That's it. Our program is ready. Now let's go and check whether our program is working perfectly or not. So I'll run the program by clicking on this debug file drop down and run file. You can do either way, run file, run, or debug. In debug mode also you can run it. So let me run this particular program. Now you see how the data will be loaded from your Excel. The program is yet to start. Now the program has started. See here, it is entering the data. See, it has clicked on submit. Perfect. It is submitting another response. Perfect. This time female. Perfect. Click on submit. Now the other response, the other employee. Perfect. Mail at gmail.com. The data has been entered. Perfect. Then the final one, arrow, mail, gmail.com, phone number, submit. Now the program has to stop. Done. The program has ended successfully. And you see how easy it was. It will do the work even though if you have thousands and thousands of rows in your Excel, it will perfectly do your work. You can just sit back, relax and watch what is happening. And you observe, like, I have not written any code here. I have not written any kind of complex code. Only thing I have done is just drag and drop. Simply I have dragged and dropped the activities that you have here, right? So when you go to the project, okay, so you have activities, list of activities that you have here. I just use the list of activities to automate our business process that we have for today, that is Excel and web applications. Thank you very much. Have a great day.